month, pressure in Portsmouth as the America's Cup World Series comes to town.
Our goal is to come here and win, especially this one in front of Ben's home crowd.
Postcards from Rio, stunning scenes from the Sailing Olympics, and how one amazing Norwegian sailor sees no obstacles in his quest for victory at the Paralympics. Plus, we take a look at the Paralympic classes ahead of the next showdown in Rio. But first, how one of the world's biggest events can change lives. Cows Week is no ordinary sporting event. As the biggest of its kind in the world, the UK's Solent-based regatta started in 1826 and is about much more than the racing. During the 8-day event, thousands take to the racecourses with different goals in mind. Many are focused solely on results and go head-to-head with the professionals before rubbing shoulders with them ashore. Some try racing for the first time, simply for the thrill of it, while others are shown how the sport could offer a new direction in life. And some just come to watch and play. For sailors and spectators alike, the new Grand Prix Fast 40 Plus fleet proved a major attraction. Custom-built carbon machines with price tags to match, this new breed of high-performance 40-foot racers was the talk of the town. The 14-boat fleet produced close racing day after day.
We started here because there was an appetite with UK owners, A, for good racing in the Solent, and for some, people wanted this type of boat because they're fun to sail. And I think things are growing. People see this as a sensible sized boat, the performance is there, and people like the close racing.
Racing went down to the wire with a 3-boat shootout on the final day. A battle that saw Peter Morton's Girls on Film take the class trophy by just 2 points. Custom-built rocket ships will always attract the top sailors, but for many of the 8,000 competitors, building a crew is one of the toughest tasks. So for one Belgian husband and wife team, growing their own was the solution.
I'm Wouter Borges. If you start from the right end, we've got my wife Leen Ronsin. Leen reels in the Genoa, so by the end of the day we are a bit tired and knackered. Quinten is helming. We've got Lucas doing the pit. Lieselot is doing the foredeck, she's the number 1. Hannelien and Sander are both Genoa 2. So they help she's doing the spinnaker lift sheet while I'm doing the lee sheet. And Sander is doing mainly loosening up in the tacks, the downward sheet of the Genoa.
From the moment they were born, they went with us. Like this daughter, she was 3 days old when she crossed the channel to participate in the Cows Week. So they always have been with us together on the racing, and now when they are old enough, they just started to help, and we saw that they really can do, and they have a feeling, a natural feeling, because they are doing it all their life. They have a natural feeling, and it's going really well.
Quinten Borges is just 12 and the eldest of the junior crew. He's the helmsman of the family's 11-metre cruiser racer.
With all the other boats do maneuvers, and we also, and sometimes other boats come really tight to another boat and it's not so fine. I sit on the leeward side and I can see all the Genoa and all the other things. You can see, it's not where I'm going.
While some were having their first taste of racing, others were being shown a different way of life. Cowes-based UK Sailing Academy run an innovative programme called Unlocking Potential.
Thanks to Aberdeen Asset Management, they help fund and support that programme. And what we do is we run that programme in conjunction with St Giles Trust. They work with gang-affiliated youngsters in London. We are just introducing them to a new way of life, new thinking, getting them some qualifications, and for most of these young guys, they have never even been at the borough they were born in.
This is the first time I've been on water completely, so it's a whole new terrain, whole new experience, whole new everything.
I've been telling my friends this has been amazing. Everyone should get involved and try it at least once in their lifetime.
Making them jealous with videos and whatnot, but hey, you're missing out if you're not here, innit?
Some had travelled a long way to help others see the bigger picture. Barbados Offshore Sailing Syndicate founder Clint Brooks.
We want to expose our island more to the bigger destinations, give our sailors an opportunity to spread their wings a little bit and get a chance to be able to come to some of the bigger venues that we're not eligible to come into. We're also helping the kids as well too. Our sailing school kids, when we first brought this boat home 2 years ago, they absolutely jumped off the moon. We once again open the doors and have an up-level boat that's the top level of the game so everyone can get into it.
At its heart, Cows Week is about racing. With 800 boats racing in over 40 classes, there's a long list of trophies. But there is one that is especially hard to win, the overall prize for the week.
I think winning Cows Week is more than just racing in, just looking at it as an individual event. It's a campaign. You've got to have a well-prepared boat, you've got to have a good crew who all work together, know each other. You've got to know the Solent and just sail all together and bring the whole package together, and that hopefully gives you the edge over others.
A metaphor perhaps for life, and the reason that for thousands of people, the experience was a victory in itself. No wonder Cows Week is special. The battle in Bermuda to win the oldest trophy in international sport may still be 10 months away, but you could feel the pressure in Portsmouth when the America's Cup came to town. First, there was the pressure of expectation on Sir Ben Ainsley's home team. Repeating last year's victory to win the Portsmouth leg of the America's Cup World Series was their goal. Then there was the pressure for cup holders Oracle to break their duck and deliver their first World Series win.
Every single team that goes to a World Series, their goal is to win. Man, that's exactly our goal, is to come here and win, especially this one in front of Ben's home crowd. We're under no false illusions, it's going to be very, very tough.
There was pressure from the crowds. Over 4 days, more than 130,000 spectators would descend on Portsmouth. And there was peer pressure too, as firm friends ashore became fierce rivals afloat. Team members 3 years ago at Oracle Team USA, Ben Ainsley had Spithill in his sights, but victory was all either could see.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy and I have always had a really good relationship. We first met way back in, I think, 2001 or something like that. We came back together many years later with the Oracle team, and I think there's a lot of healthy respect there. I think we're very different people, but actually, you know, the opposites attract to a certain extent. But for one thing's for sure, when we're both out in the water, we want to win and beat each other, and that's great. That's what you want in sport. You want those rivalries.
Adversaries afloat. Artemis's team manager and tactician, Ian Percy, is also one of Ainsley's oldest friends.
Our relationship with Ben is, in the friendship terms, is as good as ever. And all the important stuff in life we can chat about as old mates, as we are. But maybe in a lot of ways it's enhanced because we're both in the same role now. Running an America's Cup team, it comes with a lot of pressures. In some ways it's quite a lonely position, and having an old mate going through the same things, you know, there's often a time we'll grab a beer and just whine without giving too much away about our respective pressures.
But for one team, a more modest level of expectation freed their minds and delivered some impressive performances. Underdogs Groupama Team France took the lead within seconds in the opening race and went on to take the first win of the event. Their skipper remained unfazed.
Victory in race one for Groupama Team France and Frank Camas.
We'll do the best result as we can. Put a lot of boats behind us. This is our goal.
Meanwhile, the home team had bombed. Could anything be rescued? As Groupama Team France took the win, the favourites snatched one place at the back of the fleet. Had the pressure got to the British team? The answer came 30 minutes later.
Land Rover BAR picking up speed and piling into the front. Wow. There will be no catching them now.
Look at the crowds. I mean, you think there's going to be a bit of a roar? This is real stadium sound.
Time to celebrate in the sunshine for the British sailing fans here.
Pressure is what Ainsley thrives on, and comebacks are what he delivers. Race 3 produced another victory.
2 victories in the day then for Land Rover BAR and Ben Ainsley.
Yet some of the skippers were far from surprised at the home team's performance.
It would be amazing to me if he doesn't come out on top, frankly, this weekend. But that doesn't excuse performances from guys like ourselves and some of the other top teams that didn't do well today.
Yeah, pretty tough day for everyone. A lot of position changes, you know, you could be first, last in an instant, so, you know, not too bad a day for us. We're sailing about a lot better than yesterday.
The pressure in Portsmouth was taking its toll. Day 2 saw the weather change gear, and with it the performance of the big guns. More breeze and more speed meant flying cats.
Such an exhilarating sight to see these boats up on the foils.
One team was leading again.
Absolutely steaming away to the finish line. Land Rover BAR.
By now, Oracle had ironed out their issues. Having found a new momentum, Spithill was on a roll at a crucial time.
One in the eye for the British crew, and it's come from perhaps their chief rival.
A win in the penultimate race brought them back into the frame.
Oracle pulled the trigger better than anybody else in that start. Oracle nailed the time.
Event victory hung on the last race.
Oracle Team USA streaking ahead.
Spithill's crew took an early lead and surged ahead. 6 races had created a new pecking order. These two were clearly the class acts. As Spithill led, Ainsley refused to drop off the pace. He knew that finishing second would give them overall victory, albeit by just 1 point.
It is Oracle Team USA who win the race, but it will mean victory in the regatta here in Portsmouth. Back-to-back wins for the British boat.
And as they crossed the line, the pressure was released. Portsmouth had delivered, and so had the home team. And a new pecking order was starting to appear. In part 2, we take a look at the greatest show on earth. But first, who has smashed a transatlantic record? Who caused an upset in Hamburg? And who was quickest around France? Join us after the break. Jim Clark and Kirsty Hinds-Clark's Comanche slashed more than a day off the west to east transatlantic record. The 100-foot Supermaxi completed the 2,880-mile trip in 5 days, 14 hours, 21 minutes and 25 seconds at an average speed of 21.44 knots. Team Alinghi did all they could to upset the Extreme Sailing Series rankings by coming within 1 point of beating the favourites Oman Air in Hamburg. The final race went down to the wire, but Oman Air skipper Morgan Larsen held his nerve to pip the Swiss to the post. Next stop is Russia for Act 5. As 198 cyclists took part in the famous Tour de France, 24 sailing teams charged around the French coastline in the Tour de France à la voile. By the end of the 9-stage race, it was Team Larina Limonade Golfe du Morbihan that took the overall victory. The greatest show on earth kicked off in a blaze of colour and carnival. Rio 2016 had started. From flat calms to squalls and mountainous seas, tricky tides and taxing wind shifts, the new Olympic sailing venue threw the form guide out of the window. But the scenery remained stunning. Among the gold-plated prospects, Giles Scott, the unstoppable, never looked back. But when victory came, even a superhuman has to pause to take stock. Kiwi 49er sailors Peter Burling and Blair Tuke were also in a class of their own, taking gold with ease, as did Hannah Mills and Saskia Clark in the women's 470. All anybody else could do was to chase. For others, victory was hard-fought. Tom Burton's win over Tonci Stepanovic in the laser was a major comeback for the Australian. The Croatian silver, a first for his country. But later, another Croatian medal, gold for the 470 men. Elation, relief, and tension. Santiago Langa and Cecilia Carranza Soroli's performance in the NACRA 17 class was a showstopper. At 54, Langer was the oldest sailor in the Olympic fleet. 2 penalties set them back in the quick-fire final race, but the pair held their nerve. But after 20 minutes on the medal course, he became the oldest sailing gold medalist of 2016 too. Seconds after crossing the line, the emotion came out, before their achievement started to sink in. Then drama to close the show. In the women's 49er FX, the medals went down to the wire. A 4-way battle between Spain, Brazil, Denmark and New Zealand. Gold for Brazil's Martine Grael and Kaheno Kunz in the tightest of battles. 2 weeks of challenging racing, set to a spectacular backdrop. Rio had delivered. In 116 years, Norway has won 32 medals in Olympic and Paralympic sailing, 17 of them gold. This year in Rio, one man is determined to add another to this list, and he sees no reason why not.
My name is Bjørnar Erikstad. I'm from Norway and I sail the 2.4.
All my control lines are around me and I steer with my feet. I pull all the lines with my teeth.
In September, Erikstad will be representing Norway at the Paralympic Games in the 2.4 metre class. Rio will be his 4th consecutive Paralympics.
I've grown up in Tønsberg on an island 10 meters from the sea. And my dad, he sailed when he was young, and he said that all his children had to try to sail. I enjoyed it. So, as you can see, I'm born with short arms. It's called TAR syndrome. It's a genetic syndrome, which for me has resulted in that my fingers are attached directly to the shoulders, so I don't have any upper or under arms. And my legs isn't so good, so I have been operated 25 times to be able to walk. My disability, I think, hasn't affected me really much. Of course, I'm born the way I am, and of course I can't hide that. But I have never thought that I wanted to be born with longer arms or with perfect legs, because I have been able to live this life if I haven't been disabled. And yeah, I can travel around, go to Melbourne, go to Rio. Now it hasn't affected my life, and I've been fortunate. My family has been supporting. They have never given me false dreams. They have always said that if you really want to achieve something, you have to fight for it. And I've always said that it's up to you. When I learned that, that was a really good gift. Nobody has ever called me that I'm disabled. They always said that, yeah, Bjørnar, he's just short arms. So I think everybody treats me as Bjørnar and nobody else. I started with the Optimist. I sailed that for a few years, and then I started to sail soling with my parents. And after that I've sailed a lot of big boats, and of course then at the age of 15 I was introduced to the 2.4 and have sailed that since. I like racing, to have the challenge to be as good as you can be, and that's what I prefer as the sailing and this racing part. And compete and train and be better for every day, that's my life. I think maybe my goal was that I might one day be the Norwegian champion. It's always very good feeling when you achieve it, but then just after a few maybe hours, then you start to think, okay, what's next? Paralympic is 1 week, and then you have to be good that week, and that's my goal this year. I think that I'm on the right track. If I get my kind of week, if you can call it that, I think I can do well.
Three designs for 3 different crew configurations. The Paralympic fleet is as diverse as it is competitive. Massimo Diga is the Para World Sailing Manager and knows each class inside out.
2.4 is the premier class of Paralympic sailing, 1,000 sailors around the world. It's a strictly one design boat and it's a very technical boat.
A key feature of the 2.4 is that it is sailed by both able-bodied and disabled sailors at all levels, from club racing to world championships.
It's not really physical, you don't have to hide, and it's very tactical, but you don't have to use your body to control the boat.
But the 2.4 is well known for something else too.
It's a really wet boat. Some sailors call it a little submarine because you have a lot of waves that pass through you. But it's part of the fun of this boat.
When it comes to the favourites for the podium, there's plenty of experience to draw on.
The best sailors now are Heiko Kröger, Elena Lucas and Damien Seguin. These three sailors are the sailor to watch. And now we have Matt Bag, who is doing big steps in the last years.
Inspired by the Olympic 49er, the two-person Scud is the newest boat in the Paralympic fleet.
On this boat we need one woman and one sailor with a big disability. The Scud is the most adaptable boat because every Scud is different from another. Every sailor brings an adaptation. Every sailor has probably a tilting seat and has a lot of controls. Key people are the Australian team and the GBR team. Last year we had a big surprise of the Poland crew who won the Para World Sailing Championship, so they could be a big surprise in the next Paralympic.
The Sonar is the biggest boat in the Paralympic fleet and has a three-person crew.
It's more physical than the other classes, and the wind limit is about 25 knots.
When it comes to the favourites for a medal, the choice is far from easy.
The fleet is a really close fleet also here. We have big stars, we have a GBR crew, we have a USA crew, we have a German crew, and other two strong crew are Australia and Norway. So we have a lot of strong competitors.
Next month, the new fleet that is turning heads. Plus, the America's Cup World Series heads to Toulon.